a great rate, and I do worry, like in the case that like the times in which we're moving and take it's so quick. I mean, there's apps every day. There's so many changes on a like in every split second. There's no, yeah, nah, car will be parking itself now. That time I'm done with my license. There's just like a lot of things that are happening at like too many times. So now let's say Tshenolo says that she wants to move to another country or to another place that is completely far from like Africa per se. And then there's already usuals who's not here with us, which pretty sucks, but it's okay. It's okay. I understand. We all have dreams, we want to do different things. It's fine. It's fine. I accept it. But do you think is it the case more of a passion-based thing, or our country not doing enough for people in the tech space for them? Like in terms of opportunities, do you feel fulfilled in terms of those opportunities that are offered to you guys? Because it's not nice for you guys to leave, I must say, but that's my stance. However, do you feel fulfilled in terms of how you are treated in the tech space as individuals who are within that space? So anyone can go first.
I can go first, if that's okay. uh Funny enough, just before you had brought that question along, I was thinking like, yeah, no, I was actually gonna say like tech is good, like, like learning software and coding is good because it kind of allows you to move all over the world. Like here, I've had teammates that were on a work visa, and it's quite easy to get a work visa in a big organization here. I have a few people who've done it, and quite a few teams are looking as well. But now that you mentioned the brain drain aspect of it, that changes the dimension a little bit. Um, I think for me, it's 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 fulfilling in terms of I get to understand the way things work in different parts of the world. And in my mind, so I was very removed. I left 20 years ago. Like, that's been quite a while. It's been far removed. But then like as I've started working within like the tech space, it's become a little bit more interesting because I'm seeing how things work in different cultures in different parts of the world. You talk to people from USA to India to China, everywhere, and you kind of get like a lot of different insights. And I think in the end, for me personally, I started like visiting home a lot more because I'm now starting to think about these ideas and like bring them back home and say, what if we do this? I've seen this happening here. What if we do this? And bringing those ideas back is quite interesting. And it's having that experience from different places also like opened up a lot of doors back home. Whenever I fly back, I get interesting meetings I never thought I would have. Sometimes I just mention, hey, I do this. And then I end up sitting with someone I never thought I'd be sitting across from. So it's fulfilling in terms of that. And also being able to move around the world, I think is a freedom we shouldn't take for granted. It's I think this is like it's still really relatively new, being able to move all over the world and emigrate so quickly to different parts of the world. And I think we should make the best use of that. It's like we can't just hone in on ourselves and be like, this is who we are. We can't forget who we are, but we can't be like, oh no, we just gonna do the things that we do at home because that's how we've always done it. And everyone else will beat us to the this technological race. It's the same thing as they took us over with gunboats because we didn't have guns because we didn't play it like that, and then they made us fight ourselves by giving us guns, and it was technologically we do need to catch up, and we should use the experience that they have for our advantages as well as learning. That's what I think of it.
Okay, thank you so much. You're making so much sense, and yeah, I understand your reason for being that sad as well. Like it's actually a brighter light, and it is also great that yes, whenever you leave, when you come back, you're actually more excited about the implementation of those things within the site as well. I mean, like we're all trying to move, and I would like to also ask the Tshenolo if she's back. Yes, she said you mentioned that you want to migrate, right? At some point, and I want to understand also the reasons behind you wanting to move. Is it more of a thing of you doing something in line with what Shaw is doing, or do you want to migrate because you feel maybe your space of work is unseen, or it's not given too many opportunities? What is the reason behind you being confident in the migration space?
I mean, there are good opportunities in South Africa, but for me, I think the opportunities are better because they are ahead. So there's more to learn. And I was actually like it was like a workshop. It was like literally like a 3-day workshop in London. And I learned so much during that time that and it was just for 3 days. And when I came back, I was actually teaching the people in my team. So I was going to go learn the skills. Because I'm still in my 20s. I'm at a point where right now I just want career development. I don't care about being like about the country. I don't care about that. At the end of the day, I still need to be selfish and look at what I want for myself. But I think because your Europe and your America is ahead in terms of the tech industry, I feel like I would learn a lot more. And if I were to come back, I'll be able to implement whatever the skills that I've learned to, back into wherever I'll be working. But I'm not sure I'm gonna come back though. So
No, sis, you're not gonna. No, you better come back. No,
it's not safe.
No, but I understand if you do not come back. I actually know that you're still going to be such a great beacon of change wherever you go, based on what you've been saying and in the way, like the energy that you give off also. So, and I love what you said about being selfish with yourself. And I mean, like, take changes anytime. I mean, like tomorrow, maybe Elon Musk might come back the side, and then you might come back the side too. I mean, who knows? But it's okay. And I wanted to ask Brian and Daniel if, like, with everything that is happening in your space, do you feel represented in terms of opportunities? Do you feel that the country needs to do more for you? Do you feel the need to move? Do you want to move? Would you like to stay? Anything in line with that?
I'll go first. So in terms of opportunities, I would say like you won't always get the opportunities. It always depends technically on your manager. As I said before, like my current department is like a learning space, right? So obviously they're more catered towards that. So if I go like, okay, I want to get like this particular course, what's more in depth into tech, they'll be like, yeah, but don't you want to like do something that's more on the LMS side? So LMS just meaning like learning management systems. So more or less in terms of that in type of environments, such as stuff like UBIC or TFG Learn, stuff like that. So I'll be like, okay, cool. So I don't really have that much representation in that regards. But beyond that, country-wise, I would say we do have opportunities. It's been a while back, but the time when I was actually like looking for tech jobs, I saw like those different places where they say like they do like remote work, or every Mondays you come to the office around 7 at night. They actually have like a teleconference basically with someone maybe from China and so on. So like, oh, okay, cool. So the networking part of it is there. So we do have that. In terms of what everyone else was saying about like going overseas or staying overseas, I think the enticing part about that is like the companies like Google and so on. You always hear these big names like these guys are doing this, they're pushing this and that. Think of it like, you might not know this, but there's a framework called Angular, right? So Angular was made by Google. So that's one of the stuff that's being used to actually make like websites and so on. It's actually quite cool. It's one of the techs I'm actually using myself. So when you think about it, like, Google made this and it's quite cool. And they have this like nice company vibe culture where they say you can actually sleep for 15 minutes. They have a pod, like a little sleeping thing. I'm like, okay, that's actually kind of interesting. So yeah, so all those little enticements and stuff will just go like, I might go there, but yeah, for now I'd say like I'm grounded here. But yeah, who knows? Maybe in the future I might see myself going overseas and also exploring new avenues.
All right, I feel it, Brian. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. But if the time comes and you feel the need to move, do it and flourish and be great at what you do. And then one last person is Daniel. And then after Daniel, we're going to take one last question because it's a Saturday and I strongly believe that all of us have things to do. So Daniel, your stance, do you feel seen in the industry or by the industry? Do you see yourself moving? Everything else in between that?
Well, in a sense of moving, I think it's a bit of a, it's more of like a touch wood type of situation that I find myself in, because I feel like what COVID has opened is a sense of the ability to do remote work and earn in different currencies while you're still in South Africa. So I think that for me was like, okay, cool. At least we're not just literally secluded to be working for South African companies. We can literally work for Google while you're still in South Africa, even though you're not going to be able to get the work environment feel, but they do fly you from time to time to that side just to get a feel of what it is like to be in their offices. So I think if it's an option for me, I think I'll definitely take it, not just necessarily go and move and stay in a different country. Because I mean, we have families this side, we have everybody, we build a massive life this side. So it's not just going to be like an easy thing to just move to a different country. I mean, there's a guy that I was working with, he recently just moved to Amsterdam and everything literally just changed. I just saw his WhatsApp number change to some other country codes. I'm like, so there's a lot of stuff that changes. And that's also why I'm very skeptical in the sense of moving. But I am willing to actually earn in different countries and also get the ability to fly in and out. As Sho has mentioned, the ability to fly all across the world, not just be physically based in one country and just literally stay there for the rest of your time there, maybe for 5-10 years. But the ability to say, okay, cool, I'm working with a client sitting in the United States, let me go to the United States offices. Or I want to now work for a company in the UK, let me go work for a company in the UK and fly there, or maybe still work for that company in South Africa. So I think that option, I think for me, is actually kind of cool to work remotely and still be able to fly to the countries if you want to.
All right, I feel you. So in essence, you're open to discovering things, to exploring things, but still maintaining stability.